Now this is Fonseca against Atalanta. This is Sérgio Conceição against Napoli last year. And this is Allegri against Napoli this year. What do you guys see? What caught your eye? If anything, go back to the beginning of the video and rewatch those 3 photos once again. What do you guys see? Structure in some games, no structure in other games, players all over the place in some other games. You begin to see the impact that Fonseca had on this team off the ball, Allegri had on this team off the ball, and Conceição had off this team on the ball. Now, because, listen, it's a national break. We're all counting down the days for the Serie A. And I saw something on the internet and I was like, you know what, this might be a great video, something to discuss with the Milan community. I saw somebody just throw around a tweet where, listen, Milan have just been good this year defensively. They haven't conceded that many goals this year. They haven't really been tested. One, they haven't come up against the best of teams. Actually, no, wait. Can't be doing the anymore. Apparently some of you guys don't like it. So we need to replace it with somebody else. My point is, I don't agree with the fact that Milan haven't come up against good teams this season. I think they have. But Milan are just parking the bus. That's the narrative that I saw online. Milan are just parking the bus and they're inviting pressure. No problem, hermano. I'm here to prove you wrong. When it comes to parking the bus, we can look at a team's defensive line. I feel like that's the perfect indicator as to which teams park the bus and how they do it and how deep that double-decker bus with the handbrake has been put up. When you look at Milan this season, funnily enough, Allegri, 43.81 meters. Conceição, 43.13 meters. And then, of course, Fonseca was a bit more fancy, 46.27 meters. So, Fonseca, in comparison to Conceição and Allegri, he deployed his defensive line a bit more higher. It wasn't by much, but it was a bit higher. The crazy thing is, Sérgio Conceição had his defensive line deeper than Allegri's, but he went on to concede more goals. Shall we look at the photo of Milan against Napoli last year? They're all over the place. And by the way, Conceição wanted to deploy the 4-4-2 off the ball, more than happy to sit back, invite pressure and play on the counter-attack. But what did we realize with Conceição? It didn't benefit the team defensively. It didn't benefit the team offensively. When it comes to Allegri this year, I feel like where he's got it spot on. I feel like I've covered him tactically a lot of times this season. I feel like I've covered him offensively a lot of times. This one is a bit more of a different video. I just want to focus more on the structure. How he's walked in and made sure the team remains compact. Milan, you can go back and watch my reviews from last year. I always said Milan, Conceição, they're not compact. Milan, Fonseca, they're not compact. Milan, Allegri, very compact. Now let's look at something else which fuels my point a bit more. Let's look at how, when playing out of the back, in their own defensive phase, what's the pass percentage? So when you're playing out of the back and you're inviting pressure, how good are you at passing the ball around your teammates and beating the opposition? Because by the way, Fonseca had the same players. Conceição had the same players. Allegri is using the same 3 centre-halves that the 2 previous managers also use. It's not as if he's put De Winter in and we can turn around and say, no, we can't do this. It's not as if he walked in and is only using 2 out of the 3. No, brother, he is using 3 out of the 3. When you look at playing out of the back, when it comes to their pass percentage in their own half, Allegri, 88%. Conceição, 79%. Fonseca, 82%. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Towards the end of last season, I was petitioning. I was saying, even if Conceição gets top 4, they need to let him go. Even if he wins the Coppa Italia, they have to let him go. But, mamma mia, doing this video has made me realize this dude is a far bigger criminal than the treatment he got. You look at Milan this season, 88% when playing out of the back. Now, some of you might turn around and say, yeah, it's because Pavlovic all of a sudden became amazing. No. It's because Milan are far more structured in and out of possession. When your team is structured and you know, when I have the ball, I always have 3 midfielders ahead of me. And they're there game after game after game. They're there in the first half. They're there in the second half. They're there in Naples and they're there in Turin. They're there every single week. You begin to like build a pattern. You begin to build some form of chemistry. You begin to get comfortable in your position because you know Modric is always ahead of me. Estupinian, I know Rabiot is always ahead of me. Salamakers, I know Fofana is always ahead of me. Structure. When it comes to football, structure is not just important because of what a team can do off the ball and on the ball. No, structure is important to everything. Structure is important to maintaining a good defense. Structure is important to playing out of the back. Structure is important to winning the ball into your in the opposition half with your press. Your press has to be structured. Your playing out of the back has to be structured. Your defending has to be structured. Your offensive play has to be structured. Allegri with me this season, I feel like where he's impressed me the most, besides the scorelines, besides the goals, besides the, I don't know, the Pulisic performances, the Luke Modric performances, I think he's walked in and genuinely improved this team so much off the ball. Off the ball, they work hard. They condense the space. They make the pitch very small. They make it compact, but on top of everything, they're fighters in the center of the park. Like, I have to wrap up this video with this. Luke Modric, he's been hailed, he's been praised the entire season, literally the entire season, okay? Look at this. Luke Modric this season, Milan, number 1 for tackles, number 1 for interceptions, number 1 for blocks, number 1 for pass accuracy, number 1 for progressive passes, number 1 for short passes, and number 1 for long passes. This dude is the pinnacle. This dude is the reason why the structure is there. When you've got somebody like him that you could always give the ball to under pressure and he helps you retain the ball, that's the reason why your structure remains intact. When you've got somebody like him that can help you defend because he's number 1 for tackles, he's number 1 for interceptions, he's number 1 for blocks, he's always in the right place at the right time, that's the reason why your structure remains intact. For me, he's the leader. He's walked in and he's single-handedly the leader. Like, I've gone back and watched a few games and I kid you not. The amount of times I see him pointing to his left, instructing Rabiot, do this, do that. Fofana, do this, do that. He is the leader at the center. And the funny thing is, he's having an impact on the ball. He's having an impact off the ball in a positive way. And that's what you want. That's what you want in a midfielder. Somebody that offers something offensively, defensively, but on top of everything, he's the leader. He's the guy that's telling everybody what to do, how to do it, and we need to do it from minute 1 to minute 90. And there's a reason why from minute 1 to minute 90, Milan don't concede that many opportunities. From minute 1 to minute 90, Milan don't concede that many goals. From minute 1 to minute 90, Milan look comfortable without the ball. Can you say that about last season? Because I'll be honest with you guys, I never ever looked at Conceição last season and thought, tiki-taka, he wants to come, he wants to play football, he wants to dominate the ball. Hell no. But Conceição was more than happy to give the ball to the opposition. But Milan always looked vulnerable without the ball. You can't turn around and say Milan have looked vulnerable this year without the ball. Milan went down to 10 men against Napoli. Down to 10 men. You could seriously make a case that game could have gone on for another 2 hours and Napoli wouldn't have scored. And it's not because Napoli weren't great. It's because Milan were proper good, proper organized, proper structured. So we've discussed Allegri quite a lot this season, but I'm being honest. I'm very impressed with the structure. I'm very impressed with the way he's communicated with the players and connected with them. Anyways, the Serie A is soon to start. I'm over the moon. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on another one.